Good morning. It's time for our math lesson for Thursday, April 23rd. Today, we are going to be starting on page 675 in My Math. So you can go ahead and get your page ready, page 675. And we are going to be working on a problem-solving investigation. And in this lesson, we're going to come across problems that have extra or missing information. So if we have extra information, that means that the problem has some things in it that we don't need in order to solve the problem. And those things can be confusing because we wonder, what am I supposed to do with that information? But you're not supposed to do anything with it because it's extra information. And sometimes there's missing information. If there's missing information, then that means you're not going to be able to solve the problem. You're going to have to write, I can't solve the problem because there is missing information, not enough information, okay? So we're gonna start with the example on page 675 where it says, learn the strategy, okay? So it says, the problem says, on the first day, Gabriella's family traveled 3/10 of a road trip. On the second day, they traveled 27/100 of the trip. They traveled 4 days. What part of their trip did they travel in the first 2 days? So step one, we understand. We pay attention to the facts that we know. So one of the facts that we know is that Gabriella's family traveled 3/10 of a road trip on the first day. We know that they traveled 27/100 of the trip on the second day, and that they traveled a total of 4 days. What do we need to find? We need to find the part of their trip that they traveled in the first 2 days, because the question says, what part of their trip did they travel in the first 2 days? Okay, so first we're looking at what are the facts of the problem. Step two, we need to make a plan. So we don't need to know that they traveled 4 days. That's extra information because we don't need to know how long they traveled. We only have to use the information for the first 2 days. So we can just leave out the fact that they traveled 4 days. What we're really trying to find is that the first day they traveled 3/10 of a mile, and the second day they traveled 27/100 of a mile. So we need to add 3/10 plus 27/100. So step three is we are going to solve. So we're going to do 3/10 plus 27/100. So 3/10 is equivalent to 30/100. And I know this because if we count by 10 3 times, 10, 20, 30, it'll be 30 out of 100 plus 27/100, because remember, we want our denominators to be the same. So then we're going to add 30 plus 27 is 57 out of 100. So Gabriella's family traveled 57/100 of their trip in the first 2 days. Does your answer make sense? Yes, the answer makes sense because if we were to add 3/10 plus 27/10, that would be about half of the trip. So I'm going to say yes, because 3/10 and 27/100 would be about half of the trip. And 57/100 is close to half of the trip. Okay, so it does make sense. All right, let's take a look at the second question. Okay, so it says practice the strategy. Charlotte walked 6/10 of a mile to school. After school, she walked 24/100 of a mile to her friend's house. How much time does it take Charlotte to walk to school and to her friend's house? So what facts do we know? We know she walked, so I'm going to put Charlotte walked 6/10 of a mile to school and 2/400 of a mile to her friend's house. Okay, what do you need to find? Well, we need to find how much time does it take Charlotte to walk to school and to her friend's house. So how much time does it take Charlotte to walk to school and her friend's house? Okay, so first I just understood. What do I know? What do I need to find? Now step 2, I need to plan. So, I know how much she walked, but it's asking me how much time does it take? And it didn't tell me how much time it took her to walk to school. And it didn't tell me how much time it took her to walk to her friend's house. So I need to know how long it took her to walk each place. Okay, not just the distance, because it didn't ask me the distance, it's asking how much time, and it didn't give me that information. And where it says solve, I can't solve. There's not enough information. Okay, and now I need to check, does my answer make sense? Yes, because I don't know how much time it took her to walk each place. Okay, so now it's your turn. You are going to continue on page 678 or 677 and 678 to solve the problems. And remember that sometimes it's going to give you more information than you need to solve the problem, and you're going to have to ignore some information. And sometimes it's not going to give you enough information to solve the problem. So if it doesn't give you enough information, you need to write, there's not enough information to solve the problem. Okay? Think hard, do your best, and have a great day.